It was a quiet Sunday morning in a small suburban neighborhood in Ohio. The rain had been falling since before dawn, a steady drizzle tapping against the windows. Sarah Mitchell, a 38-year-old mother of two, had been up early making breakfast before deciding to take a quick shower. Her husband, Daniel, was out of town for a work trip, leaving her alone with their two kids, 12-year-old Ethan and 8-year-old Lily. Sarah loved the sound of rain when she showered. It created a kind of soothing white noise that made her forget about the endless list of responsibilities waiting for her outside the bathroom door. She closed her eyes and let the warm water run over her shoulders, rinsing away the lingering fatigue of the week. But what she didn't know was that this peaceful moment was about to turn into the most unsettling morning of her life. Through the steam and muffled sound of rushing water, Sarah suddenly thought she heard the faint creak of a door. She assumed it was Lily looking for her, but before she could even call out, she turned her head slightly and froze. Standing just inside the doorway was Ethan. Her heart jumped into her throat. She quickly reached for her towel, wrapping it around herself as the water continued to run. "Ethan, honey, you scared me half to death. What are you doing in here?" she asked, her voice a mixture of irritation and worry. But something about Ethan's expression made her pause. His eyes were wide, not from embarrassment or the awkwardness of walking in on his mom in the shower, but from fear. He wasn't even looking at her. His gaze was fixed on something behind her. Sarah's skin prickled. She turned her head sharply, scanning the foggy mirror and the shower curtain at her back. The room seemed empty. The only sound was the water and her own quickened breathing. She looked back at Ethan, who whispered, "Mom, there was someone in the hallway." Sarah's pulse raced. She quickly shut off the water, stepped out, and pulled Ethan close. His body was trembling, and his face was pale. "What do you mean, someone in the hallway?" she asked. "I was going to ask if you'd seen Lily, but when I came upstairs, I saw a man walk past the stairs. He went that way." Ethan pointed toward the back of the house. His voice cracked, as though he wasn't sure if what he saw had been real. Sarah's first thought was that Ethan's imagination had gotten the better of him. But as she listened to the storm outside, her mind replayed all the small things she had ignored over the past few weeks. The strange creaks in the house late at night. The feeling of being watched when she stood by the kitchen window. The time she found the back door unlocked even though she was certain she had bolted it. Now her son was telling her he'd seen someone inside their home. And every instinct told her this wasn't a child's imagination. She tightened the towel around her and whispered urgently, "Go downstairs. Get Lily. Stay in the living room. Don't move until I come down." Ethan hesitated, but the look in his mother's eyes told him not to argue. He turned and ran down the hall. Sarah shut the bathroom door, quickly changed into her robe, and grabbed her phone from the counter. Her fingers shook as she dialed 911. She whispered into the phone, explaining that someone might be inside her house. The dispatcher's calm voice instructed her to stay on the line, keep her children with her, and wait for officers to arrive. But Sarah couldn't just wait. Not with her kids downstairs and a possible intruder hiding somewhere in the house. She stepped quietly into the hallway, her ears straining for any sound. The floor creaked softly under her bare feet as she moved toward the staircase. Halfway down, she froze again. There it was, the faint sound of breathing. Not her own. Not her children's. A low, steady rhythm coming from the darkened den at the end of the hall. Her chest tightened as adrenaline surged through her body. She gripped the railing, fighting to keep her breathing steady. The dispatcher's voice on the phone asked her if she was safe, but Sarah didn't answer. She was staring at the shadows at the end of the hallway, where she swore she saw a figure shift in the dark. And then she realized the nightmare had only just begun.